Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So Puya, I just texted you and said that this could be this should be the could this should this might this will be the first day of you pretty much being on the podcast every day through election day. You cool with that?
I am cool with that. I will try because I will be on a bunch of trips. If I'm not on this flight or something that prohibits me, I am committed to being here as much as possible. Yes.
Puya, you got a legendary status. Like you and Ben are kind of like legendary in the
Mhm.
CP universe because you touch so many volunteers, you lead them. You're also just unruffleable. Uh
Mhm.
can't be ruffled. And it's really, really great. So I'm joined
Thank
today,
you.
folks, by Puya Suri, one of our great fieldwork young leaders, and it's September 7th, 2024. Um, so we're just practicing for you being on the road today. So where are you at, Puya?
Yeah, this is a good practice actually. I am in Charleston, South Carolina. I am sitting in the hotel like lobby lounge area. My cousin is getting married today. She's from North Carolina, but because of her fiance being from South Carolina, they're doing the wedding down here. So we're actually supposed to leave for the wedding in like an hour, but I'm pretty much ready. I just need to get dressed. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just do roll with it.
Way to go. Do you have any free time in the weekend on Charleston?
Um, I mean, tomorrow we'll have some free time. Yeah.
So Charleston is epic in the American story. Okay.
Hmm.
It's terrible, it's good, it's a lot of things. I was there for a wedding myself for my niece a year and a half
Oh,
ago. And
nice.
so this is where again you and we're similar, like weddings in Charleston, okay?
There we go.
Um, but it's of course where the first shots of the Civil War were fired on Fort
Hmm.
Sumter. So there's two things that I recommend that you do if you've got like 2 hours.
Hmm.
Okay, one is book a harbor cruise. Like
Hmm.
they do these for tourists all over the place. Okay, and take one out there because they're going to tell you all kinds of stories about
Hmm.
Charleston and about the harbor, and you'll go right past Fort Sumter. It's on a little island out there. Okay,
Hmm.
and it's fascinating to hear the stories and the way they tell them. All right.
Interesting.
So it's like worth it. It's like profoundly worth it in your own like learning about America and how we storytell, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get the Southern Charleston
Is it,
perspective.
see, that's the thing. I was so close to doing it because yesterday we took a walk around the hotel area and everything, which is like, there's not much to do here. With my cousins and everybody, we're like, there's not much to do here. Some of these houses are pretty cute and they're old and they're colorful and everything. I was like, I know y'all don't like museums, but this is where the Civil War technically started. So if y'all want to go and check out Fort Sumter, we could do that. And they were like, nope, absolutely not. We don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, no.
Which makes sense. But now I'm intrigued to see and learn about the perspective of folks from Charleston, from the South, about the Civil War, about what caused the Civil War, what prolonged it, and what was the aftermath for them from their perspective. So I will try to do that. I will try to convince at least my mom because she's a history buff too. So we'll go
Okay.
together.
Well, Battery Park is right down on the water, and it's
Hmm.
got all kinds of cannons and Civil War Confederate generals and all kinds of stuff
Ooh,
in there. Okay.
interesting.
Now, a second thing you could do is that there is a brand new museum for African American history that opened there.
Yeah, I saw that as well this morning, literally. I was like, I got few hours to kill this morning. I was trying to go, but then I got all this Slack message. I was like, you know what? As much as I want to go, field work is traveling like 2.5 weeks. I gotta gonna answer these emails and messages. But I also saw that. Have you been there?
No, it literally just opened
Oh,
like either 1 year ago or I think actually like 6 months ago.
I see.
Um, you see in the slave trade, in the trade of African bodies into the United States, um, Charleston was a major port, like
Hmm.
the major port.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it is a factual reality that when you trace the genealogies, the DNA of African Americans in this country, somewhere between like 2/3 and 3/4 of them can be traced in some fashion through somebody to Charleston.
Hmm.
Okay. It's so many people, enslaved people, were brought through Charleston. And so downtown in Charleston, there's a slave uh, memorial ish kind of thing. And then there's this
Hmm.
museum. Charleston is so important, and the Carolinas are so important that Dr. Terry and the Institute actually are starting to plan a Carolinas learning tour.
Oh
All right.
wow, that'd
Yeah.
be great because it's interesting because yesterday as we were walking around Charleston, like the city area, the neighborhoods, there were these houses from like 1600s, 1800s, 1700. And a lot of them actually had a plaque in front of them.
Yep.
And I was reading a lot of those plaques, and there was no mention of slavery. There was no mention of, they were like, these were businessmen. I was like, what kind of business were you running exactly to afford this big house, you know? And I was Googling it, you know, learning from Dr. Scott and all of the signs in Montgomery. I was like, let me Google this. See
Yeah.
actually who are these people? And it was fascinating. It is the same story of telling a very one-sided history and not telling the full history of this country and the city and those people. Um, and it was one of those moments where it was just like, as much as you know these houses are nice or whatever, I'm just like, why can't we tell the history? Why can't we actually say who these people were?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Charleston is famous for its homes, its
Hmm.
architecture, and you can
Yeah.
walk around it, and it's beautiful. It's got the rainbow street and all this stuff,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And so they're beautiful, but they all date to enslaved.
Hmm.
They were owned by slave owners and white Southerners. There's also great walking tours that you can do. If you Google those, you can find some really good ones that are done
Hmm.
as well, like a 2-hour walking tour where someone
I
leads
see.
you around.
Hmm.
And some of them are really, really good. I've had people
I,
take them.
I think I will wait for Dr. Scott. I don't think anybody's gonna match that. So I'll just wait on the walking tour, maybe do the harbor thing first.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you today, and I interrupted your wedding plans, not yours,
Hmm.
but your family wedding plans, because I was like, I want to get Puya in on this. We got a presidential debate on Tuesday, okay?
That's
And
right.
CP is doing a presidential debate watch in the Seattle community live, right?
That's right. Yes, we are. If you are in the Seattle area, you can definitely show up on Tuesday at about 6 p.m. You can come in a little bit earlier, around 5:30 if you would like. At Stoop Brewery, it is in Cap Hill. We have a portion of the area reserved. And if you were there last time around, the speaker system was not great, so you couldn't hear it. We have since now purchased our own sound system. So if you come, it will actually be able to be, you know, pretty loud. You should be able to hear everything. And hopefully this debate will be much better for us
Okay.
overall.
Awesome. I'm going to include when I send out this podcast today the link to that, how to like
Please
get
do.
that info.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to title this podcast this is what I want to make the name of this podcast.
Mhm.
This episode. The most important words today are yes, I am. Okay, that's going to be the title of this podcast because that is the answer that Kamala Harris gave about 2 hours ago when she
Mhm.
was asked if she's ready to face Donald Trump. All right.
Mhm.
She said, yes, I am. And so I want to start with this clip and then I want to talk about um, Vice President Harris and kind of her approach to this debate. Uh, it you I'm going to play the clip once and everybody, it's tough. There's different noise. There's journalists yelling questions. She's at this really famous spice restaurant or spice store in Pittsburgh today. And they're kind of yelling questions at her. The audience that's there at Penzies, that's the name of it, is going crazy. They're very excited that she's there. But then a question kind of cuts through and asks her, and then she has an answer. And this is a very short clip, so we're going to listen to it, and then we're going to go through it again, and we'll isolate specifically that moment.
Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes.
Best part of debate prep?
Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes.
Best part of debate prep?
Okay, so are you able to pick it out? We are not.
I can, yeah. I don't know about folks out
Okay,
there.
let's see.
Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes. Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes. Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes. Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, so there was this this hilarious story in the Washington Post yesterday, and you get these stories all the time about women candidates running for a higher office, about how tough they are to work for. Okay. There's always these stories about how this person, Klobuchar, Pramila Jayapal, Elizabeth Warren, all right, how they're tough bosses. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a story in the Washington Post yesterday, which started with the fact that when Harris, after Biden stepped down, Harris ascended, a large chunk of Harris' former staffers endorsed her publicly. They signed a letter, endorsed her, and that's where the article started. But then this article was taking like, hey, but there, the classic article, but there are other views too. Okay.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so the article quoted these people who said, hey, she can be really tough because she expects you to be when you write up something for her, she has follow-up questions and she wants to know exactly why you're suggesting this. You always have to have an answer for why. And this was what they were complaining about. Okay.
That sounds like a pretty good boss that actually is trying to understand what you're doing, doesn't just say, sure, yes, and move on.
Exactly.
Does care more than anything.
And there's this great sexist, great in a bad, great, not great, great sexist quote in there where it says, you can't just tell her what to do. She always wants it explained. All right. So it's like, oh, like this woman is supposed to be just told what to do. Right. And so she is famous for being prepared. Like in that article, they talk about how when they prep her and brief her and she reads stuff, she comes ready to ask questions about the footnotes. All right.
She's a lawyer. That's what it is. That's a lawyer move. Like you read everything, you have questions, you question things, right? The fact that she's asking the why, that's a very lawyer thing to do, to be like, why are you saying that? Why are you taking this position? So I'm very confident about her debate prep.
So she is prepping in Pittsburgh, in a hotel in Pittsburgh, and has been prepping for actually couple weeks. And she's been staying there Thursday, and she's going to stay there till Tuesday, and the debate is Tuesday in Philadelphia. Right. And she's campaigning in the state while she's doing that. Her debate prep is she's preparing 2-minute answers because that's the length of time that they get to speak. 2-minute answers. And that's what prosecutors do. They're like, they know how much time they got, and they got to tell a story in 2 minutes and then get to the point in there. And she's being prepped by having Philip Raines, who is a longtime Hillary Clinton aide, and is famous for kind of impersonating Trump in debate prep. And Raines is serving as Trump. And so Harrison is prepping all this stuff in this crucial state, Pennsylvania, with Raines as her foil. Trump has said publicly that, hey, I don't need any debate prep. I'm just going to show up, and I'm going to, you got to kind of figure these things out as you go. And so that's his public statement, at least. All right. And he's campaigning today, which he doesn't do a lot of these days, but he's campaigning today in Wisconsin. So what we've got here are clash of styles. All right. You've got also Harris and all of her kind of a desire to stand on the same stage and tell Trump to, like, say it to my face, my face, right? So Tuesday is shaping up to be this absolutely iconic moment. All right. And millions are going to watch. This is going to be a huge audience.
Oh yeah, it is. I think for me, one of the things that really made me happy when we saw Harris get the nomination and announce that, yes, we're going to move forward with the debate, is the fact that even from the 2020 election, in the primary, he was not like scared between 20 other people on this stage, almost like 10 other people on the stage, sorry. She was the one that was like, you could see her stand out. Like you could see the skills, you could see the fact that she's just willing to go after people, question them, try to get an answer. And that was something that Biden did as well in the 2020 election debates with Trump, where it was like, say it, when it was about the KKK and it was about the white nationalists. So I think that Kamala has the skills to kind of get under his skin, and I saw that some of the some tweets and some articles around like how she's trying to get under her skin. And I think she will be able to do that. Because he doesn't have the skill set that she does. To be able to calm himself down and just kind of move on. I think if he kind of gets flustered, he's gonna say some stuff that he will regret eventually. So I think she has the capacity to do that, especially as a prosecutor. That's the bread and butter. You know, if you don't, if you have a defendant who's you're gonna go after their lawyer, it is something that she has done several times, I'm sure, in court. You got the skills. She's ready.
Yeah, I think I think she is, because she's got a pattern of being a very precise, take no prisoners, public speaking debate style. She's done it when she's been on the Judiciary Committee with justices being named, approved under Trump. She's done it when she was on the debate stage. She actually buried Biden in a big moment, 2019. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and also like this was something from the DNC that I feel like I keep repeating like in my head. Whenever there were like between guest speakers and folks who were speakers coming through to talk, there was this clip that they would play of Kamala questioning Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
About, you know, is there a law that has control over the male body? And then there was another person from Trump's campaign that was like, your line of questioning making me stressed or scared or something along those lines. So she, to your point, like even at the Judiciary Committee, she was the person that like would go after these judges and justices and really be able to kind of get them flustered and not be able to really question them precisely about a specific topic, and show that they don't either have a very unpopular position or they're not willing to answer questions. So I think if she can do some of that with Trump, she's gonna perform really, really well.
I hope so. I think it's really important that she stand on that stage as the equivalent to this bad man, all right, and make everybody very aware that she is not going to be bothered by standing on stages in toe-to-toe with really evil, difficult men. All right. Here's that clip with Kavanaugh, by the way. So let's see. Oh no, where'd it go? Here we go. No. Oh, dang it. I'll get it in a second. Because it is the case that presidential debates are not so much about the content of your knowledge or your ability to like show that you know things. It's about symbolic strength, being able to stand there and to not be fazed when somebody does something to your face. And Trump is all about trying to be dominant. Okay.
100%. I mean, because the thing is, like, he doesn't have a substance to go over, you know?
He doesn't.
Yeah, so the best thing he can do is just show the dominance. And here's the part that really makes me happy. And I know people have different feelings about a prosecutor ticket, but I'm like, she's not going to be bothered by that.
Exactly. Here's her with Brett Kavanaugh.
Now you got the clip?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
The Wild Robot is the greatest DreamWorks movie ever, the best animated movie of the year, and one of the best movies, period.
Sometimes we must become more than we were programmed to be.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters September 27th.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm happy to answer a more specific question, but
Male versus female?
there are medical procedures.
Okay. That the government has the power to make a decision about a man's body?
I thought you were asking about medical procedures that are unique to men.
I'll repeat the question. Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
That's the clip.
That's the one.
And she also, this is part of what I love about her, is she isn't just smart, she isn't just tough, she isn't just prepared, she also thrives. She thrives on that moment of like, I am going to defeat you right now. Okay. There is an assassin quality to the way that she functions in public speech, public moments. Like she like has that assassin, like Obama kind of quality of like, I am going to destroy you right now. All right. Biden doesn't have that assassin kind of feel. Biden is like the grandpa. Okay. But Kamala does, and I think she's going to come ready for those moments in the debate.
100%. And I think, being the attorney general of the largest state in the country, you have gone toe to toe with some of the best lawyers in the country, right? Like some of the top lawyers in the country. And to be able to defeat them in the court of law with juries and judges and across the board, I think you're pretty ready to face somebody like Donald Trump, who has no substance. He has nothing to show for. His record is horrible. His vision for the country is outdated. All he's got is trying to dominate here. I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Yeah. So will you be back in Seattle to watch that debate?
Can you repeat that? My headphone just got cut off.
Will you be back in Seattle for the debate?
Oh yeah, I am flying back on Sunday night, so 100% will be there.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we're doing a debate watch in Seattle in person on Tuesday night. I'll send that info along. We did one of these and the sound wasn't great, but still people came and it was energetic for that famous June 27th debate. Okay.
Oh, 100%.
This one is going to be energy packed, alcohol. Folks, this is it. All right. Come join our crew at the brewery in Seattle on Tuesday. Harris doesn't need to crush Trump. I want her to. She doesn't need to crush Trump. She just needs to stand on the stage and not be cowed by him, and not just be smarter than him, but symbolically be as strong as him. She has to be as strong as him. Hillary Clinton had to crash so many barriers, but she was not able to kind of like physically rise up in a way that shut Trump down. And so I want to see how Harris, through her hand gestures, through her body language, how this is a different dynamic than what he was. He was clearly physically the larger human on the debate stage with Clinton. But Harris carries her space. She occupies space in a different way. And it's part to do with how she just says things. It's got to do with her hand gestures and the way that she talks to people. It'll just be a really interesting moment.
100%, yes. I think something else that I'm just looking for is, how she's gonna go after him being a, felon as well, and like how much she's gonna play into that as well. Where it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if she says something along the lines of like, "Are you gonna trust a felon?" Like use that language is to like see the difference between the two sides. Where one side got the prosecutor, one side got the felon. On the other hand, I think they went after like Project 2025 very heavily at the DNC. Like almost everybody was mentioning it. That's also interesting, like how much she tries to kind of attach Project 2025 to Trump. And yeah, like I think the balance between how much is going to be attacks on him compared to like how much is going to be just showcasing what she's got is going to be something to just look for.
Yes, totally. 100%. So here we're going to end. We're going to go back to this Harris clip to end, because I want these words to be sitting there in everybody's head. You said you kept seeing that Kavanaugh, the Harris Kavanaugh clip at the DNC. This is the one that we need to know.
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right.
Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes. Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes. Are you ready to face Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Yes.
All right.
She adds the second yes, right? She adds the second yes. It was like the second one was, yes, I am. Yes,
Mhm.
and you want to cuss, right? And so it's
Yep.
yes.
Yep. Right.
All right. Hey man, go have a great family wedding, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Yes, we'll do. All right.
All
Thanks,
right, see you.
David.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Puya.
everybody. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.